Best friends Nori Boxwood Horace and Reina Carvajal had always known they were different. Reina was born with the power to control fire, while Nori could transform into animals. The only problem was, Nori's magic never worked the way it was supposed to. Every transformation turned into a complete disaster. Still, that didn't stop them from chasing their biggest dream, getting accepted into Sage Academy, the most prestigious magic school in the world. The next morning, Nori and Reina arrived at the station, where dozens of young magic users were waiting for the Academy shuttle. Nori's father noticed how nervous she was and tried to reassure her. He told her that even her mom had been scared on her first day at Sage Academy, but everything turned out just fine. Hearing that gave Nori a little more confidence. The students waited, but no bus ever showed up. Instead, an Academy worker named Bud appeared and quietly led everyone into the woods. Along the way, Nori tried introducing herself to a boy named Andres, but he barely said a word. A few minutes later, they reached a massive tree with a glowing magical doorway built into its roots. Bud stepped through it and instantly disappeared. The new students froze. Even Reina started panicking. Trying to calm her down, Nori smiled and said that everything felt strange at first, but as long as they stayed together, they'd be okay. With that, she stepped through the portal. One by one, the others followed. On the other side, they found themselves inside the incredible world of Sage Academy, where students were already using magic everywhere they looked. Nori couldn't stop smiling. This was exactly where she had always wanted to be. Moments later, Headmistress Nightslinger welcomed the new students. She explained that every child at Sage Academy had been born with a magical gift, but mastering that gift required discipline and following the school's rules. The Academy divided students into 5 magical groups. Fuzzies could communicate with animals. Flickers could magically pull objects toward themselves. Flares controlled fire. Flyers mastered flight. And Fluxers could transform into animals. Now it was time for the placement tests. The Flares went first. Their challenge was simple: light a candle from several feet away using only magic. Most students passed without much trouble. When it was Reina's turn, she effortlessly lit the candle with the tip of her finger, earning impressed looks from the teachers. Next came the Flyers. Andres shot high into the air so easily that he nearly reached the ceiling. The only problem, he still hadn't figured out how to land. That's why he always carried a backpack filled with heavy bricks. Finally, it was the Fluxers' turn. Their task was to stay transformed into a cat for 6 full seconds. Nori took a deep breath and cast her spell. For a split second, it looked perfect, but then, just like always, her magic spiraled out of control, and instead of becoming a normal cat, she transformed into another strange mixed animal creature. The teachers immediately exchanged disappointed looks, and Headmistress Nightslinger was clearly not impressed. After reviewing everyone's magic, Headmistress Nightslinger announced the placements. Reina was selected for the prestigious Honor Flare class, but Nori's result was completely different. She was assigned to something called UDM, Upside Down Magic Division. As the teachers led the students to their new classes, Nori was sent in the opposite direction. Following the UDM sign, she arrived at what looked more like an underground bunker than a classroom. Inside, she found Bud, along with Elliot, Andres, and Pepper. Bud welcomed her with disappointing news. He explained that UDM students wouldn't be learning magic at all. Instead, they'd spend their time studying regular school subjects. The kids were completely confused. Before anyone could ask more questions, Headmistress Nightslinger walked in. She explained that every student in UDM had unstable magic that couldn't be fixed. They would remain in this division until their powers eventually faded away. Only then would they be allowed to return to the normal world. Nori refused to accept that. She insisted their powers weren't broken, they just needed someone willing to teach them. But Nightslinger shook her head. She pulled out an old history book and revealed why the Academy feared upside-down magic. Years ago, there had been a student named Robert. He was supposed to be a flare, but the only place he could create fire was from his backside. Everyone mocked him for it. Over time, his unstable magic attracted a dark force known as shadow magic, transforming him into a dangerous monster before he disappeared forever. According to Nightslinger, shadow magic could only survive by attaching itself to a human host, and students with unstable magic were its perfect targets. She compared them to cracked apples. Once an apple cracked, it slowly rotted from the inside. She believed UDM students were no different. That's why they were forbidden from practicing magic. If they stopped using it long enough, their powers would eventually disappear. And to her, that was far safer than risking another shadow magic disaster. With that warning, she walked away. Nori was devastated. Everything she had dreamed about seemed to disappear in a single day, but deep down, she refused to give up. She silently promised herself that somehow she'd prove everyone wrong. Meanwhile, Reina officially joined the Honor Flare class. Professor Argon announced that Founders Day was only a few weeks away. Each division would choose its strongest student to compete in the Sage match, and the winner would earn the honor of performing during the Academy's biggest celebration. She reminded the class that controlling fire wasn't enough. A true flare had to control its temperature with perfect precision. To demonstrate, she handed Reina a bowl of corn and told her to make popcorn using only her magic. At first, Reina controlled the heat perfectly, but when a classmate named Philip started laughing at her, she lost focus. The flames suddenly flared up, burning every single kernel. Professor Argon was far from impressed. That night, Reina couldn't stop thinking about Nori Nori, and on the other side of campus, Nori missed her just as much. The next morning, Bud handed the UDM students brand new brooms. Nori's face lit up. She thought they were flying brooms. The moment she jumped on one, she crashed straight to the ground. Bud sighed and explained they were just ordinary brooms. Their first assignment wasn't learning magic, it was cleaning the academy. While sweeping the gardens, Nori noticed Professor Han teaching a Fluxers class nearby, and that's when a new idea started forming in her mind. Still determined to improve, Nori borrowed a cat from Professor Han's class and carefully studied it before trying another transformation. For a second, it looked like she had it, but then her magic failed again. Instead of becoming a cat, she turned into a bizarre elephant-bird hybrid. Professor Han was far from amused, and Bud quickly stepped in before things got any worse, escorting Nori back to the bunker. Later, the UDM students gathered in the cafeteria. To everyone's surprise, Andres suddenly complimented Nori's mixed animal form. The room went silent. It was shocking because Andres had barely spoken a single word since arriving at the academy. Meanwhile, Reina tried to visit Nori, but Professor Argon stopped her. She made it clear that honor students weren't allowed anywhere near UDM. For the first time since arriving, the two best friends were forced apart. That only strengthened Nori's determination. She refused to believe UDM students were failures. If she could become a perfect Fluxer, she'd earn a place in the Sage Match and prove that upside-down magic could be mastered. So she threw herself into training. She filled pages with cat sketches and practiced the same transformation over and over again. At the same time, Reina's performance kept getting worse. Being separated from Nori left her distracted, and Philip wasted no time making fun of her mistakes. Seeing this, Chandra quietly told Reina that she was far more powerful than Philip, and if she wanted help, she'd gladly train with her. But Reina was too distracted to answer. Later, while Nori was cleaning the academy gardens, the two friends finally crossed paths. Reina couldn't help asking why she was doing janitor work. Nori almost told her the truth, but instead she lied. She claimed it was all part of a secret UDM training program before asking how honor class was going. Not wanting to worry Nori, Reina lied too. She smiled and claimed everything was going perfectly, but neither of them believed the other. That night, Reina wandered into the library looking for answers. While browsing the shelves, a book about shadow magic suddenly fell to the floor by itself. As soon as she picked it up, the lights flickered out. Panicking, she dropped the book and tried to leave, but somehow, the same book was already waiting for her on the table. Terrified, Reina ran out of the library, unaware that Chandra had witnessed everything from the shadows. Meanwhile, Nori kept practicing her transformations. She could finally become a cat, but only for about 3 seconds before turning into another strange hybrid. Her classmates started losing hope. Nori didn't. She promised everyone that she'd compete in the Sage Match and prove UDM deserved a real chance. Her confidence inspired the others to believe again. Soon, the day of the Sage Match finally arrived. As Nori prepared to prove herself, Reina's emotions were all over the place. She wanted to support her best friend, but she also felt frustrated and guilty. That's when the shadow magic book mysteriously appeared inside her room again. Hoping to become stronger, Reina opened it. Dark, magical words slowly lifted off the pages and flowed into her body. Moments later, she collapsed. The Sage Match began. Reina faced Philip in a challenge to make popcorn using precise fire magic. This time, her power was completely different. The popcorn finished almost instantly. Professor Argon declared Reina the winner without hesitation. Meanwhile, Nori stepped forward and begged Headmistress Nightslinger for one final chance. She insisted she wasn't broken. She just needed someone willing to teach her. Then she attempted another transformation. For a brief moment, it worked. But seconds later, she lost control again and transformed into another mixed animal creature. Trying to calm her down, Reina used one of her fire tricks, but the shadow magic had amplified her powers far beyond normal. Instead of a harmless spark, she accidentally launched a massive fireball. The blast sent Nori flying across the arena. When she hit the ground, her transformation finally wore off. The entire academy fell silent. After witnessing what had happened, Nightslinger issued one final warning. If another UDM student was caught practicing magic, she would shut the entire upside-down magic division down for good. With no other choice, Bud quietly gathered the devastated students and led them back to the bunker. The other UDM students were frustrated with Nori. Because of her, they had all been scolded by Headmistress Nightslinger. Seeing everyone so discouraged, Bud felt terrible, so he took the group deep into the forest. There, he finally spoke from the heart. He told them none of this was Nori's fault. Everyone was so focused on having perfect magic, while his job was to stop students like them from using theirs. But he admitted he hated every second of it. Bud explained that his parents had abandoned him when he was born, and Sage Academy had raised him. This school was the only home he had ever known. That's why he stayed and took charge of the UDM division, even though he never believed in its rules. Then he looked at the students and smiled. There is no such thing as upside-down magic. Everyone's magic is unique. You don't need different powers, you just need to understand your own. own. If you learn to control what makes your magic different, that's exactly what will make it special. To prove his point, Bud began singing. Within seconds, animals from all over the forest gathered around him. The students watched in amazement. That's when they realized Bud was actually a fuzzy. His gift wasn't talking to animals. It was that they only listened whenever he sang. Bud smiled and told everyone to enjoy the rest of the day. Tomorrow, their real training would finally begin. Feeling hopeful again, Nori went to find Reina. Meanwhile, after the sage match ended, Reina returned to her room. Waiting inside was Chandra, holding the shadow magic book. Reina immediately demanded to know what it really was. She blamed the book for making her lose control and nearly hurting her best friend. Chandra calmly explained that the book could greatly increase magical power, but Reina had only focused on making one ability stronger instead of learning to control it. That's why everything had gone wrong. Angry, and ordered her to leave, but moments later, the shadow magic book mysteriously reappeared on her desk. Just then, Nori knocked on the door. Thinking Chandra had come back, Reina snapped in anger, but the moment she saw Nori, she immediately apologized and hugged her. As Nori started walking inside, Reina noticed the shadow magic book lying in the room. Panicked, she quickly blocked the doorway and shut the door before Nori could see it. Confused, Nori had no idea why her best friend was suddenly acting so strangely. The next morning, Bud officially started training the UDM students. His first lesson was simple. Stop practicing the magic you wish you had. Start mastering the magic you already have. He demonstrated this by tying a rope around Andres and taking away his weighted backpack. Instead of floating endlessly into the sky, Andres finally stopped at about the height of a tall tree. For the first time, he could actually control his flight. Bud safely lowered him back down. As the training continued, Pepper and Elliot also began gaining real control over their unusual abilities. Finally, it was Nori's turn. Instead of forcing her to become a normal animal, Bud had her trim bushes into the exact shapes of the strange hybrid creatures she always transformed into. He explained that if she truly understood every detail of those creatures, her magic would finally understand them too. So day after day, Nori kept practicing, and little by little, she finally started mastering the hybrid animals that had once felt completely out of control. Later, Chandra approaches Reina once again and urges her to read the shadow magic book. This time, Reina completely loses her patience. She yells at Chandra to leave her alone. The other students immediately turn toward her in confusion. "Who are you talking to?" That's when Chandra quietly smiles. "I forgot to mention something. No one else can see me." Reina freezes. Terrified, she runs back toward her room. Meanwhile, Nori has been searching all over the academy for her best friend. The flyers point her toward Reina's dorm. Inside the room, Chandra blocks Reina's path. She tells her that Robert once believed he was weak too, but he was actually incredibly powerful. "And you're even stronger than he was. You're not broken. You're perfect." Chandra continues manipulating her, saying she's tired of being judged and underestimated. The only way to unlock your true power is to embrace shadow magic. Once you do, everyone will finally respect you, not knowing the real danger behind those words. Reina gives in. Just then, Nori arrives, but she's already too late. The shadow magic completely takes control of Reina's body. Nori desperately tries to reach her, but Reina doesn't even recognize her anymore. Instead, she attacks. Frightened, Nori rushes back to Bud and tells him everything. Bud and the UDM students immediately realize what's happening. Nori pieces it together. If shadow magic has taken over Reina, it's planning to attack Sage Academy during tomorrow's Founders Day celebration. Bud knows they're running out of time, but he also knows no one will believe them. After everything that's happened, Headmistress Nightslinger would never trust the UDM students, so he makes a difficult decision. Tonight, they wait. Tomorrow, they fight together. The next morning, Founders Day officially begins. Students and teachers gather as the celebration gets underway. Nightslinger calls Reina onto the stage for her performance. Reina creates a massive fireball. Then suddenly, the shadow magic erupts from the flames and completely possesses her. The academy falls into chaos. The professors attack the shadow, but every spell only makes it split into even more shadows. Just when things seem hopeless, Bud and the UDM students arrive. Pepper uses her magic to merge all the shadows back into one. Elliot fills the area with thick smoke, making it impossible for the creature to see. Andres circles around it from above, keeping it distracted. Meanwhile, Nori transforms into her unique dragon-cat hybrid form, the Dreton. She swoops through the air, forcing the shadow off balance and slamming it to the ground. The other students rush in to destroy it, but Nori stops them. She knows hurting the shadow could also hurt Reina. As Nori changes back into her human form, the shadow seizes the opportunity and attacks her. Then, at the last possible second, Reina breaks free. She unleashes her sparkle fireball straight into the shadow. The blast completely destroys the dark magic, and just like that, Reina is finally herself again. Overwhelmed with relief, Nori runs over and hugs her best friend. After everything is over, Nightslinger finally realizes she was wrong about upside-down magic. The UDM division is officially dissolved, and every student is transferred into the class that best matches their unique abilities. Bud also gets the recognition he deserves and officially becomes a fuzzy professor. For the first time, the UDM students are no longer treated like mistakes. They're finally free to learn magic their own way.